President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi received Moses Correa in the special envoy for the Kenyan President, William Ruto, and the Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry on Wednesday. The Kenyan minister handed a message to President el-Sisi from President Ruto, which included praises for the distinguished ties that bind the two nations and aspirations for fostering bilateral cooperation at all levels. Presidential spokesman Ahmed Fahmy said the message also included a request to broaden Egypt's enhancements to Kenya's efforts, which are aimed at activating the Continental Free Trade Agreement among the three economic groups, COMESA, East Africa and the South Africa, specifically in light of launching the agreement in the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh in 2015, in addition to Egypt's current presidency of the COMESA. The spokesman added that the president reiterated that Egypt is looking forward to enhancing bilateral ties and activating frameworks for joint cooperation. The head of state confirmed that Egypt's continued efforts to support Kenya to realize its target regarding the activation of the agreement, which reiterated that it would enhance trade exchange among African nations and increase the inter-economic integration among them. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi took part on Wednesday in the 40th round of the NEPAD Steering Committee via video conference with the participation of presidents and leaders of African member countries. During the meeting, Egypt received NEPAD presidency until 2025 from Rwanda's president. Presidential spokesman Ahmed Fahmy said that President el-Sisi had delivered a speech during the meeting which tackled efforts Egypt would exert during its presidency of the agency over the coming 3 years. In his address, the head of state expressed appreciation for the Senegalese president's efforts during his presidency over the African Union during the past year. The president reiterated that the global economic crisis impacts the development process in Africa, a matter which he said seeks new finance resources and measures to solve accumulative debts to achieve the continent's economic recovery. Meanwhile, President el-Sisi reviewed the priorities and targets that Egypt aims to achieve during the period 2023 to 2025 in cooperation with African partners, which includes infrastructure development within the 2062 Africa Development Agenda. The President pointed out to the importance of the industrial transformation in light of the outcomes of the exceptional African Summit, which was held in Niamey in November 2022 to face the repercussions of the Russian-Ukraine crisis. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli headed on Wednesday the weekly cabinet meeting in the new administrative capital. During the meeting, Madbouli directed to accelerate the transition of the government headquarters in the new capital, assigned Minister of Finance, and to provide transportation incentives for employees. The Prime Minister asserted the state's support to the private sector in several economic domains and instructed to follow new operating and managing systems in factories affiliated to the sector. He hailed the effective role played by the Armed Forces National Services body in providing basic goods and commodities to meet the citizens' needs. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry participated in the 42nd round of the African Union Executive Council, which kicked off on Wednesday in the Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa, in the foreign ministers' level. The two-day conference discusses a number of issues and files of common concern, including the activation of Africa Free Trade Agreement, the food crisis, and boosting economic integration and inclusion, as well as operating the African Medicine Agency. The African Union Summit, entitled Acceleration of Free Trade Agreement, will take place next Saturday, focusing on means of enhancing economic cooperation among African countries. The combined death toll in Turkey and Syria